Alright, I have a question for you guys. I'm having an issue where I just bought this little soldering station that's supposed to go with this home button repair tool similar to the G-Lon, and I got it from Union Repair. I talked with my representative because the problem I had was the iron they sent me with this does not fit. If we put it in, that's it. That's as far as it goes. It will not thread because these threads are too small. These threads are too large, and the insert is too long. So even if I was to take it down one more notch to where the threads will line up and match, you'll see that these threads on the handle are now, by looking at it really close, you can see that they're the same size if it was to go in all the way. But if you put that in all the way, you'll see where this goes, but my hole is only down to about there. So I complained about that, and it's like, well, that's the only reason I bought this station, was just to have an iron, because I've got the micro hot tweezers from Hacko and the micro pencil from Hacko, but I don't have just a standard soldering iron because I do micro soldering, and everything that I have works for me. But doing this home button repair, I wanted to make sure I got one of these home button repair tools, and I like it for the platform and everything. It fits under the scope great, but there's no way to get it to screw in and sit nice and firm. Otherwise, you're going to sit here and have to get this cable steady, not being able to move things much. There's a little bit of play there. It's not going to transfer that heat well, and so it's not really doing me much good to have this. I complained again, like I said, to Union Repair, and I was told that they were sorry, they sent me the wrong iron. So she went ahead and said she would send me a new iron, which she did, but it's the exact same thing. And it does the same thing. It will not fit inside the hole. So her solution is to give me a $15 refund on this tool that I bought, even though I spent more than $30, almost $40 for shipping just to get this cheap stuff. So I get a $15 refund. I get an extra handle that I'll never use for anything other than for this. I've got my soldering tools. So basically I got stuck buying this iron for no reason. So now I got a refund on this. So do I just take my drill and try to drill a deeper hole, possibly? I don't know what's inside there, what this is made of, if it's going to drill out okay. But I guess it can be. I mean, there's several holes in it. But what size iron do I need that fits these tools? Or can I buy an element, take this element out, and just install a new element that's shorter, just for the purpose to have a little station for the home button setup? So that's my question. Maybe somebody can give me some feedback on that. Thank you very much. In order to continue this video, I'm just going to add on to the previous video. So rather than to reiterate everything that we've already covered, I want to show you what I've done. So from posting my previous video, I had a few people reply, and one of the suggestions, because his unit that he ordered had a hole through and through, so that way there was nothing to prevent the ceramic insert of the heating element wouldn't allow it to go all the way in, because mine was too shallow. But his was through and through, so his could sit in there nice, you know, all the way up. And because these threads don't fit this metal housing when they go in here, actually this won't even allow it to go into that hole. But this does actually fit the threads here around this housing. So what I've done is I got a couple of drill bits out. The first drill bit that I chose is pretty much the same diameter of this ceramic piece for the heating element, and I mean they are extremely close. So I basically just measured how deep I wanted my bit to go, and I didn't want it to go all the way through, but just up to the edge. So I just put it in there, and it was loose, and I drilled all the way up to the edge. I tried to put in my ceramic insert. This, I keep calling it a ceramic insert, but I tried to insert the ceramic piece inside, and it still wouldn't go. It was too snug, so my drill bit was too small. So the next size up drill bit that I chose seemed like it was just a tiny bit larger than this. So I went ahead and did. I drilled it all the way up to almost the end of the housing there. Now I can get my ceramic piece to go in, and these threads, like I said earlier, match. It will now screw in right there, and that's a nice snug fit. There's no hole to allow the heat to escape. It tries to trap it inside. So I just wanted to test this out and see how it was going to heat up. So we'll turn it on, and I adjusted my temperature to right around 250 to 275 Celsius. I know I don't want that much, but I might actually even go right up to 275, because I want this to heat up, and I know that that ceramic element is not really snug in that hole. There is a teeniest bit of play, so that'll prevent that heat transfer from this ceramic element to this copper plate that you're putting your home button on. So the next thing was, what temperature is this thing getting to? So I got my multimeter out, and I know this is only really good for hot air to blow across it to get a really good temperature reading. And let's see, we got it set on Celsius, and I'm just gonna simply, just touch it here against the plate and see if we increase our temperature at all. And no, we're just a little over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It is gradually increasing, and this isn't the best way to really measure this. You know what we could do is, let's measure the element itself, because I feel this getting warm, but it's not hot. Even put my thumb down, and it's getting uncomfortably warm. So I might have to start adjusting the temperature higher on here until I can figure out what temperature it's gonna get to that plate. Let's check this element out. So I'm just going to touch this here to the element. Oh yeah, it's increasing the temperature. And it's still climbing. 190. I think what I set it on 275, between 250 and 275 range. It's cooling off if I slide it down here. If I go closer to the tip. Oh, there we go. So the heat's at the tip. Alright, so according to the box here, not sure if it's going to be able to see those numbers very well. Let me look and I'll tell you. Down here it's 200 Celsius, 392 Fahrenheit. Right up here we have 250 Celsius. A little bit more is 500 Fahrenheit. There's another notch here between the 250 and the 300, so I'm assuming that is the 275 Celsius, and that's where I put it. So next, let's see, if we put this in all the way, our element, it's going to be right here in the middle. That's touching this here, where the most of the heat is at the tip. Oh, I'm not even looking at the camera. Up here at the tip is where most of the heat's at, but you can see the element. I need to be measuring right around here, because when it's inserted, that's what's going to be heating that plate. So let's do this. Let's stick this little guy here in the middle. And I'm thinking we're wanting this right in the 220 range. Wish I had something better to measure this temperature with, but I'm just going to go with this guy. It's the best I got. So this is showing 162. So let's increase this quite a bit. Let's jump up to 350. No, yeah, we'll go up to 350. Now let's measure right here in the middle. Go up higher. So there's some pretty good heat, and we're close to the middle. That's about where I'm wanting my plate to be. So let me see. And I'm calling this the plate, the little copper piece that your home button sits on. Okay. Let's see if this jumps up any more than it did before. It's still not transferring heat real well. Let's turn this up a little bit more. We'll go up to close to 400. We'll put it at 400 Celsius. So it's not really transferring the heat real well to this plate, and I don't know how to measure what the temperature is getting at right there. It'll burn you. I mean, I won't put a blister for touching it, but you can't hold it on there longer than a second. So it's transferring some heat right there. I don't have anything, because I can't press against it with my finger. It is getting hot, but I don't think it's getting 225 Celsius. So maybe Got a little bit of play in our heating element. It's hot. So now what I'll do is I'll just put a home button on there. I'll go grab one out of the drawer, a new 7 home button or something, just to play around with it. But that's what I did, and that's how I got that to fit this piece. Whether or not that's going to be a good, viable working tool or not, I don't know. Oh yeah, that tip up there at the very top, that'll burn the holy heck out of you. That's hot. So it is concentrating all that heat on the tip of my element. So I need the tip of my element to be down here. I think that's the actual fix, because now the tip of my element's right there and I can actually see it smoking. So let me turn the heat back down. So I don't know that this is really going to work for me. I might just have to find a shorter heating element to install in this handle, or buy one that has a shorter heating element that ends right where our metal plate's at.